गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः na, 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 na. So we did start with the second verse, isn't it? Okay. So the word we are in Jnaneshwari Bhavartha Deepika of Jnaneshwar Maharaj, chapter 17, verse number 2, OV number 56, I think. And we'll begin from there. 56. The verse says, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Swabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shrunu. Bhagwan, Arjuna has asked the question that those who know the scriptural rules, they know what is right and wrong, yet for some reason they are unable to follow it to the T. They are unable to follow it to the T. So, or live life according to the scriptural do's and don'ts. What is their standing in life? This is what Arjuna has asked. And therefore, Bhagavan says here, threefold is the inborn faith of embodied beings. Embodied beings, those who think they are the body. The spirit, when it has taken on, accepted, identified with the conditioning of the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body, such a spirit now is no longer independent. It is in the clutches of the matter vestibule, the body, and such is called the embodied. It is pure, passionate, and dark, and hear about it. So he was explaining what is sattvic, what is rajasic, and what is. First, we have to understand. He has explained it before also, where the Trigunatmika. Trigunatit Purush was told, the one who is beyond the three gunas. That was, I think, 14th chapter. And again, all this is information. Understand one thing: Shabda Jalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karanam. The more words we use, if we are focused only on the words and we are not attentive to that because of which the words are being heard, the thoughts, if we are not in the position or disposition wherein we are watching the thoughts come and go in our mind, then it will turn into, if we are eager to want to hear more, listen more, there's nothing wrong with listening more. And why we want to be in satsang again and again? Because at least in that 1.5 hour we fall back into ourselves. If satsang is a subjective approach, it is helpful. If it is an objective approach, collection of information, collection of data, comparison with other books that we have read, then Shabdajalam Maharanyam, Chitta Brahmana Karanam. Chitta Brahmana Karanam, it will keep your mind deluded. In this forest of words, there is no way out of it, because truth is that where yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Truth, self, spirit, pure consciousness, whatever, whichever word you may use, is that I am in essence where the word cannot reach, the mind cannot comprehend. See? So here in the 56th OV, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, Te praniye tava svabhave anadi maya prabhave trigunache chi aghave valile ahati te thahi don gunas khansati mag ek dhari unnati तय तैसी आची होती वृत्ति जीवांचिया वृत्ति ऐसे मन धरिति मना ऐसी क्रिया करिति के लिया ऐसी वरिति मरो निदेहे बीज मोड़े झाड़ होए झाड़ मोड़े बीजी समाये ऐसे निकल्प कोड़ी जाए परिजाति न नशे तिया परी ये अपारे होत जात जन्मांतरे परित्रिगुणत्व न व्यभिचरे प्राणियांचे. He is saying, Bhagavan, Jnaneshwar Maharaj, he says, for beings are by nature constituted by the three gunas under the sway of beginningless Maya. What is Maya? Again, yesterday we did a brainstorm, no? I think it was yesterday's last class. What is Maya equal to? Yesterday's class only. What is Maya equal to? Prakriti equal to?
Ignorance.
Avyakta equal to?
Forgetfulness.
Forgetfulness equal to?
Jagat.
No.
Ignorance.
So Maya equal to ignorance equal to Prakriti is equal to Avyakta is equal to divine hypnosis is equal to Leela is equal to delusion. All this is the same. Okay. So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying what? For beings are by nature constituted by the three gunas. Now we were not, even though we are essentially the spirit, we don't know that. As a child we are the spirit, but we don't have the acumen to fall back into the self. We don't have the intelligence. The intellect has not developed yet. And when we are grown up and intellect is developed, then we are not ready to accept ourselves as the spirit. And then we create a journey where there is no journey. And all this is because from the moment life comes into existence, from that very moment the play of the three gunas, the sattva, rajas, tamas, the purity, dynamism and inertia, which was explained in the previous OVs, that comes into play. This is the flux, this is the throb, this is the waking, dream and sleep. Continuously you are going from one state to the other. See? And therefore three under the sway of beginningless Maya. So there are, this is the, who else is beginningless? The pure consciousness or the Atma is beginningless and endless. Anadi Ananta. Ignorance or Maya or Avyakta or delusion or forgetfulness or Prakriti is also beginningless. But there is one difference. It is not Ananta. It comes to an end when it merges back into the source. Namaste. So both the spirit is also beginningless, Maya is also beginningless. And therefore we think, oh, we have started accepting. But this Maya, this hypnosis, this delusion can be ended. And you have to use the tools within Maya in order to go beyond. So what are the tools that we are using? What is this Maya made up of? This Maya is made up of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So now we have not created Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. These three are there already. So now we are going to utilize these three in order to go beyond these three. Just like a pole vaulter uses the pole to raise himself to the heights, and when he is across the bar which he has to cross, then he leaves the pole. And then he is in free fall and he wins. He is victorious. Same way, we take the support of these three because we have no other way. We don't have anything else to hold on to. Because we are so used to holding on, we are so used to taking support, taking ashray. And therefore, here he says that the three gunas are under the sway of the beginningless Maya. When two of them become feeble and the third becomes strong, then the mental tendencies of a person follow the dominant guna. Guna means if the sattva and rajas are weak, then tamas becomes strong. When sattva and tamas are weak, then rajas becomes strong. When rajas and tamas are weak, then sattva becomes strong. Now use the other language. When purity and dynamism are weak, dynamism, activity. So when purity of the mind and the dynamism, what is purity? To be in silence, happily, to be contented, not running after desires. That will bring about the sattva. Dynamism is activity. So when purity and dynamism are weak or silent or not expressing out of their because of their nature, then tamas, which is nidra, alasya, pramad, these three, this one is strong. Then when the purity and the tamas, the nidra, alasya, pramad, when jadatva, when that is predominant, then the dynamism, what is that? The dream state, that is predominant. In the previous one, the tamas is the sleep state. And when dynamism is weak and the jadatva or the sleep is weak, then waking is strong. Waking, that is where the conscious knowledge is. So in this way, the Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying that when two are weak, one becomes strong. The mind follows the tendencies, actions. The mind follows the tendencies, actions follow the mind, and then beings take birth according to their past actions. So this is a theory. From the absolute standpoint, there is nothing like this. So again, we repeat that this is a inquisitiveness of the individual to want to know, how did I come into existence? So some people believe that the Charvakas, parents gave me birth and that's it. But our Vedanta, our Vedas, they have a different take on it. And what is that? That we are born, so here first it is told, the mind follows the tendencies. Tendencies are what? The technical word for it is vasanas. In English, another word for tendencies is subconscious impressions. What is subconscious impressions? Those impressions which have not taken a form of desire in the conscious mind yet. So every thought that we are getting, every desire that we are getting in our mind is the result of, under an appropriate environment, the subconscious entity which is a storehouse there, they, in a right environment, they suddenly pop up and become manifest. That manifest subconscious tendency, vasana, impression, when it becomes manifest, it is called desire. And that desire then prompts us to act. Now understand, this is the genesis. And if we go one step back, it is that tendency which has prompted us to be born. Why were we born? Because we died. How did we die? We died with a thought. We died with some unfulfilled desires. We died without realizing our essential nature. And therefore, as long as we have not come to know our essential nature, we are caught up in this cyclical birth and death. So these tendencies determine. We saw somewhere else that this Jivatma, another word for Jivatma is the soul. This soul, what is it? It is pure consciousness plus these tendencies. At the time of death, when with the last breath, nothing like this happens, but we are saying scriptures use this so that this theory, so that we take full responsibility for all the joys and sorrows that are coming in our life. We take full responsibility. Please put your mics off. We take full responsibility for our actions, so that we do not live a life of judgment and blame and hatred and comparison and competition and a desire oriented lifestyle. And once this clicks in our bosom, that we have only ordered everything, every experience in our life, which is true, but we have to accept it. You have to contemplate on these. Go to the first, second, third, fourth chapter. There you will understand of Bhagavad Gita. See? And once we accept, then everything you will allow everything to happen. You are watching. What's next? What's in store? Let's. Just like you doctors, you don't decide which patient is going to come. Which patient, whoever comes, and you respond accordingly, isn't it? You are in the moment. You don't have a preconceived notion of who's going to come. You don't have a preconceived notion that someone is not going to come. If the patient cancels, oh, okay, let me do my chanting in between or japa in between. So same way now, if you do that there, why not do that in our life? Don't expect anything. Don't live according to desires. Once you understand this, then it will click. That everything that is happening is you have only ordered it. So here he says that, where are we? The mind follows the tendencies, the vasanas, actions follow the mind. So whatever desires are there in the mind, desires in the mind are manifest form of the tendencies, and actions follow the mind. So naturally, the prompter of activity at the physical level, at the body level, is because of the desires. And then beings take birth according to their past actions. The seed, now he gives an example. The seed disintegrates and grows into a tree. A seed can be lying under a stone, buried under the earth for centuries. For centuries. A seed could be under a banyan tree for centuries. It will not grow because under banyan tree nothing grows. But by way of providence, the wind blows after millions of years, thousands of years, and that seed is blown away from from under the tree, or there is a mudslide or the floods, and the seed which is buried under the earth suddenly comes out. The once it comes out of hibernation. Now the right environment is available, sunshine, rain, soil, and it is up in the soil, not very deep, and immediately it breaks into a sapling. The root and the shoot come out. And then what happens? The seed disintegrates and grows into a tree, and then the tree becomes stored in a seed. So this is the cyclical life that is being shown, that the seed got destroyed so that a tree could come out, and the tree itself is hidden in every seed that it produces. Chicken and egg. Tree becomes stored in a seed after destruction. So what is this seed? This seed is, if you understand that example of seed and tree, the many seeds on the tree are the impressions. So one seed grew into a tree. One vasana, one tendency, one subconscious impression was enough to give us this body, which is a tree. Khade hai. And then what are we doing? In this life, we are creating more seeds, more impressions. How do we create more impressions? Tell someone. मैं ही बोल रहा हूँ.
By likes and dislikes.
As we move through the world, if we are creating raga dvesh, if we are dividing the world, I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this, we are creating impressions which become eventually the seeds for future births. Only in the human species there is a possibility that all these seeds can be burnt asunder in this life itself, consciously. Only in the human species this is possible. The seed disintegrates. ये हो गया ना. In this way, even after a lapse of numerous epochs, timelines, times, the species of the tree does not become extinct. Same way, you have not become extinct. How many lives you have lived? Thank God you don't know. Otherwise, you will be a super schizophrenic case here. As if we are not, we are. But imagine, we are remembering everything from the past. So even if the beings undergo innumerable births, there is no change of the gunas in their constitution. So if we are continuing to live in this cyclical life, accepting, this is what it is. You know who accepts this? The seeds are formed and seeds become the tree, and then again the more seeds are formed, and again the tree, from those then new trees will come out. The nihilist philosophy. It has its own merits. No, at the empirical level, at the worldly level, it's okay. So, even if beings undergo innumerable births, there is no change of the gunas in their constitution. So, innumerable births, the coming and going is all because of the gunas only. And in our daily life, as you say, you only in the waking period we are thinking, am I doing sattvic actions or am I doing rajasic actions or am I doing tamasic action? But if you look at yourself on a daily basis, knowingly or unknowingly, you are going through the sattva, rajas, tamas. Sattva, the waking, rajas, the dream, tamas, the sleep. And this is your daily life. This is your three worlds. And for innumerable lives, we have been living like that only. So we have now, as long as we are caught up in our tendencies, this is our lot. We can't escape out of this cyclical waking, dream, sleep, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. Continuing, म्हणूनी प्राण्यांच्या पैकी पडिली श्रद्धा अवलोकी ते होय गुणासारिखी तिही यया विपाये वाढे सत्वशुद्ध तेव्हा ज्ञानासी करी साद परी एका दोघे वोखद येर आहाती सत्वाचे नि आंग लगे ते श्रद्धा मोक्ष फळारिगे तव रजतम उगे कापाराहाती मोडो निसात्वा सत्वाची त्राये रजो गुण आकाशे जाये तेव्हा तेची श्रद्धा होये कर्म केर सुणी मग तमाची उठी आगी तेव्हा तेची श्रद्धा भंगी हो लागे भोगा लागी भलते या. He says, so whatever faith falls to the lot of the beings is formed according to these three gunas. So whatever faith falls, so what is your disposition? Are you wakeful? Are you conscious? Are you action oriented? Where the kartapan is the karta means doership and enjoyership is paramount? Are you is your disposition where purity is paramount? Or is your disposition where laziness is paramount? So it all depends how you live your life. No, I can't get up in the morning. Then you have already decided. If you wake up in the morning, oh my God, again it is so cold, what is going to happen? You have already decided. The first thing you do in the morning is complain about the cold. How your day is going to be a good one? Because you started with complaint. Think. Sattva means happy without reason. Rajas means wanting what he doesn't have. And tamas means ठीक है यार तंग मत करो, कहीं से खाना आता रहे, गवर्नमेंट पैसा देती रहे, and I am comfortable in my heated bed. Don't disturb me. Continuous complaint is the tamas. Continuous expectation of what a person doesn't deserve is tamas. When the sattva becomes dominant, it gives rise to knowledge with the other two gunas opposing it. When sattva, purity, becomes dominant, we have been saying it many times. What is purity? What is sattva? What is knowledge? Knowledge is the nature, our own nature, no? It is our self. So what is purity? Purity is wherein the number of thoughts in our mind reduce, the quality of our mind, of our thoughts becomes positive, and the direction of the thoughts from extrovert becomes introvert. This is purity of mind. Remember these three, note it down. The direction of the thoughts, the quality of the thoughts, and the thought frequency in the mind must change. Frequency from more to less. Quality from tamas to rajas to sattva, purity. And extroverted thoughts to introverted thoughts. So when this happens, understand, and in this type of an environment, in a sattvic environment where this is being, you are doing something initially as an individual, you will do something, you will do japa, you will do pranayam, and you will try to bring about a calm mind. In a calm mind, in a sattvic mind, knowledge automatically reveals. Automatically reveals. All these Vedas, they got revealed in the silent minds of the rishis. They did not go and write it. They were revealed in their minds. See, the Tulsi Ramayana was revealed to Tulsi Das ji. Adi Shankaracharya, the Vivek Chudamani, Saundarya Lahari, Bhaj Govindam, it's a revelation. He didn't, there in that moment, suddenly it poured out of him. Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Moodmade. When he came across that Chandal and he realized his mistake, immediately the Meenakshi Panchakam came out of him. Revelation. It is not a composition. We say it is his composition, but understand the circumstances where he said, did he have time to, which sandhi works here, which grammar rules applies here, and nothing like that. It was a spontaneous outflow. The sattvic faith leads to liberation. You cannot attain moksha if your tendency is tamasic or rajasic. If your tendency is to be lazy or your tendency is to be active. One must be pure in their heart and mind. Only then, for such a individual, the door of the moksha opens up. This is the what you call, see, when you are running with a pole, when you say on your marks, get set, you are in tamas, you are standing with the pole, you are not moving, you have not reached your goal, you have not reached the heights of contemplation or meditation, you are standing still. And then they say, phew, the gun goes, and then you start running, rajas. And after that, then the activity becomes very subtle, which is sattvic. Now he is not running, he is lifting himself up with the help of the pole. So with the help of the thoughts, he is lifting himself up. With the help of the divine thought, he is lifting himself up. As we are doing right now. And then he lets go of the support. We also have to let go of our support. What is our support? Our contemplation. What is our support? Thoughts. But we are selecting such thoughts that they automatically go out of existence. Because infinite may be a thought, but when we contemplate on it, it does not leave behind a residue. It dies. The thought dies after delivering us. The pole, after delivering the athlete, then it goes away of its own. The pole doesn't follow the athlete. So the thought will not follow, because when we are choosing the thoughts as given here, only in a sattvic mind, the thoughts, the subtlest thoughts, the divine thoughts, that aham brahmasmi, aham nitya shuddha buddha mukta swarup, aham satchidananda swarup, aham, and such thoughts when we contemplate upon, then the thoughts automatically drop away, as long as we are subjective. The sattvic faith leads to liberation, but how could rajas and tamas remain quiet when the rajas quality becomes dominant? Because this creation, this life, is a flux of the three. Is a flux of the three. And as long as you have accepted yourself as an individual, then these three will continue. Now, if he is mentioning that the how can rajas and tamas remain quiet, eventually they will come up, isn't it? So when they come up, when rajas comes up, dream comes. When tamas comes up, sleep comes. When sattva comes up, knowledge comes. If you take it, knowledge means waking comes. So another meaning will be, the doorway to liberation is not dream or sleep. The doorway to liberation is waking. You have to remain awake. You cannot attain liberation in dream. You cannot attain liberation in sleep. You have to be awake. So that could be one interpretation to look at this particular verse in that manner. When the rajas quality becomes dominant, overcoming sattva, then this faith makes one clear the rubbish of actions. Then a person who has a sattvic disposition, even though he has a sattvic disposition, he is living in this world, no? He will go through waking, dream and deep sleep. So when the dreams come, he is not affected by the dreams. When the mind is getting agitated or too many thoughts are coming, I shouldn't say getting agitated, but too many thoughts are coming, a person established in sattvic disposition, he is not affected by the activity of the mind or the body, rajas. Neither is he affected, the sattvic disposition, neither is he affected by the non-manifestation of activity, which is tamas. He is not affected by both. And when he is not affected by both, then he starts getting absorbed into his essence. Then there is a possibility by grace that he transcends the sattvic state also. So, when the tamas quality becomes inflamed, it transforms this faith in such a way that it involves beings in undesirable sensuous enjoyments. All wrong things happen at night only. Majority of the cases. So sattva is giving, when we have the sattvic faith, we are moving towards knowledge. When we have rajasic faith, we are moving towards activity. When we have tamasic faith, we move towards laziness or wrong activity, prohibited activity, nishiddha karma. Continuing. सत्त्वानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत श्रद्धामयोऽयं पुरुषो यो यच्छ्रद्धः स एव सः सत्त्वानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत श्रद्धामयोऽयं पुरुषो यो यच्छ्रद्धः स एव सः. In the third verse it says, the faith of everyone. O Bharata, Bharata another name for Arjuna. What does Bharata mean? Bha, Bha means effulgence. Rata means what do you call? Not addicted. What is क्या word है? रत
Desires one.
No, 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 not desire. Okay, एकदम ब्लॉक आ गया. Bha means the Bha, from that word comes Bhaskar. Bhaskar is sun, the light. The word Rata is reveling, not desire, reveling. The one who is reveling in light is Arjuna. See? So every word here also makes a big difference. So he says, the faith of everyone, O Bharata, conforms with his nature, conforms with his swabhav. A person is made up of faith, he is verily what his faith makes him. So, if you have heard me over the years, when you say it is difficult, and I say if you believe it is difficult, then it is difficult. If it is easy, then it is easy. If you expect, if you have faith, that Swamiji, look around, everyone, nobody has had it easy, it is difficult, jobs are difficult to come, COVID is difficult, what is going to happen, living alone is difficult. So what is happening? We are having faith in this difficulty. So nature will keep giving us faith. If we say that it's His will, then He will reveal Himself. If we say it is easy, yes, I will, whatever it may be. So many years I have been saying it is difficult, it is hard. But now, instead of saying that, I will say, okay, I am going to give it a go. Then opportunities open up. We make or break us, simple as that. Can't blame anyone else. So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, एवं सत्वरजतमा वेगळी श्रद्धा सुवर्मा नाही गा जीव ग्रामा माझीयया म्हणवनी श्रद्धा स्वाभाविक असे पै त्रिगुणात्मक रजतम सात्विक भेदी इही जैसे जीवनची उदक परिविशी होय मारक कामिरया माझी तीख ऊंसी गोड तैसा बहुवसे तमे जो सदाची होय निमे तेथ श्रद्धा परिणमे तेची होऊनी मग काजळा आणि मसी न दिसे विवंचना जैसी तेवी श्रद्धा तामसी सिनी नाही. He says, O wise Arjuna, there is no faith in the assemblage of beings which is independent of sattva, rajas, tamas qualities. That there is no embodied being. If you take the animals, you take the plant kingdom, whether you take the ant colonies, there also you will find sattva, rajas expressing. So in the microcosmicest organism and the macrocosmicest organism, sattva, rajas, tamas is there. So Brahma is rajas, Vishnu is sattva, Shiva is tamas. If you take the ant colonies, you see that who is that Attenborough's documentary. In that, there are some are very rajasic ants. Some are sattvic ants. They are doing only the carpentry work. They are setting up whatever the food is coming. They are storing it. Then there are those rajasic. They are making sure all ants go in the correct way. They come back the correct way. If there is any terrorist coming, all these rajasic fellows go and attack that fellow. Or if someone is in need, all these rajasic, they go and help that person. And if there is any tamasic, they go and bite that fellow. Move on. You see, if you take a larger kingdom, you get many animals which are very calm and quiet, and some are very rajasic, the lions and the etc. And there are many tamasic. Which will be tamasic? Our koala is tamasic, panda is tamasic. See? So everything in this creation is divided by these three. If there is anybody, any object, any element, it can come under one of these category. Why? Because these three only became the whole creation. And what is our creation? Waking, dream and deep sleep. So if sattva is the waking, then everything in the waking, it's not that it's only sattva. There is a trinkling of rajas also and tamas also. So from sattva, what has come in the waking? I'm just going a little bit away from the topic here. What is the expression of sattva in waking? Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. What is the expression of the rajas in the waking? All the adhisthana devata, the productive potential behind all our organs, the tanmatras. And what is the gross tamas aspect? Space, air, fire, water, earth, which have mixed with each other to create this wonderful creation for you. So we cannot, and same creation is again there in the dream also. Dreamer doesn't know that he is dreaming. He thinks it is a real one. It's only after waking up you say that was a dream, isn't it? So, entire creation, that Maya, when she expresses her first expression, is the first three waves that erupt out of her are sattva, rajas, tamas. And then they go on expanding into many other waves. So here he says, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, for this reason faith too is threefold, as it is constituted by the three gunas in different proportion. So because everything in this creation is pervaded by the three gunas, therefore faith is also of three types: sattvic, rajasic and tamasic, in different proportions. So this intermixture of sattva, rajas, tamas is creating the entire variety in this creation. And within each species, no two faces are the same. Why? Because of these three gunas. What is the percentage of each when it has come together? And as you can see, many people, that as the tamas increases or rajas increases or sattva increases, the face changes. If it is sattvic, the tej increases. When it is rajasic, tension increases. When it is tamas, dullness increases. There is no inspiration, there is no light in the eye, there is no spring in the step. See? And you are automatically drawn towards sattvic people. You feel comfortable in the sattvic, in the presence of sattvic people. So here he says that for this reason faith too is threefold, as it is constituted by the three gunas in different proportions. Then continuing, although water is a preserver of life, it becomes fatal when mixed with poison, pungent when mixed with black pepper, and sweet when mixed with sugarcane juice. When the tamas quality becomes dominant, one gets born and dies again and again, and his faith also takes the tamas form. Hmm? So it is because of tamas that we are getting again and again born in a body. Why? We have accepted ourselves as the body. Body is tamas. Body is tamas. And that is why we are getting born again and again. We have not become free from the gravity of body identification. Therefore, we are being born again and again. As there is nothing to choose between lamp, lac, and ink, so tamas faith is not different from the being. Lamp black, the when we do the havan, we put the stick inside and we take the ash and we put it on. That is the lamp black. So if there is a lamp underneath the soot, we take that soot and that black of the soot or the ink, it's the same. So here he says that as there is nothing to choose between, so what is the choice? If you have lived a life of body identification, whether you choose this or you choose that, you are choosing tamas only. See, if you are choosing majority, what happens in general sense. Every man in next life will be a woman, and every woman in next life will be a man. Because they are either they dislike the person they are with or they want the person they are with. So their attraction is the opposite one, or it may be their son or it may be their husband. And when the time comes, they think of that and then they go. So if that is the last thought, imagine. So one life man, one life woman, one life man, one life woman. Best of both the worlds. Why complain? But that is tamasic life. Continuing, 71st verse. तैसीच साजसी जीवी रजोमय जाणावी सात्विकी आघवी सत्वाचीच ऐसे निहा सकळू जगडंभरू निखिळू श्रद्धेचाची केवळू वोतला असे परिगुणत्रयवशे त्रिविधपणाचे लासे श्रद्धे जे उठिले असे ते ओळखतू तरी जाणीजे झाड फुले कामानस जाणीजे बोले भोगे जाणीजे केले पूर्वजन्मीचे तैसी जिही चिन्ही श्रद्धेची रूपे तिन्ही देखिजती ते वाणी अवधारी पा. He says, likewise in the case of rajas dominated person, the faith of the rajas quality, and in the case of sattva dominated person, the faith is of the sattva quality. That means a rajas quality person excuse me in case of a rajas dominated quality dominated person, he is addicted to activity, he is addicted to imaginations, he is addicted to change, he is addicted to movement, he is addicted to karta and bhokta, being the doer. See, he is addicted to the past or future. This is all happening in the rajas. In tamas, only body. So all those who have a cat or a dog, oh my darling dog, oh my darling cat, oh my darling tota, parrot. And if khuda na khasta, you die before the parrot dies or the dog dies, the last thought will be, oh my darling dog, who will take care? Like our Bharat Maharaj. Next life, wow wow or meow meow. Bharatji was even after 10,000 years of sadhana, he was born as a deer. Because at the time of his last breath, he thought of his baby deer, who will take care of him. So don't, if at all we have to get attached to the divine. Get attached to the Lord or get attached to the self. Contemplate on the self. If you can't do that, then work towards purifying your mind. Attention should be on the mind. Our attention when we move in this world is on what others are doing. Our attention should be, is my mind reacting at this moment to whatever the world is throwing at me? Is it equanimous or has it lost the plot? If it has reacted, correct it straight away. That is the alert living that is required by a seeker. Otherwise, if we allow us to be hijacked by the thoughts, by imaginations, and you say that we sit in meditation, what meditation if in waking we are not able to remain equanimous to what world is throwing? For every damn thing we have a reaction, we have a comment, we have an opinion. Either we are living in fear or we are living in desire. What meditation? Whom are we fooling? The first step is yama niyama, living such a life in the world that we do not disturb the world nor get disturbed by the world is niyama. Yama. And how do you disturb the world and get disturbed by the world? By thought, word and speech. Sometimes by action of the people, sometimes by their words, the manner in which they have spoken to you. Sometimes they have not spoken anything, they are saying everything nice, but you can catch the intention, you can see the look in their eyes, the sarcasm, the hypocrisy. That disturbs you. So don't disturb the world and don't get disturbed by the world. Then when we have created this armor of indifference towards the world, then asana is possible. Then meditation is possible. But even then, before we come to meditation and asana, the interim step is that we don't become a challenge to ourselves by our own thinking. That is niyama. How we interact with ourselves. First it was how we interact with the world. Do not disturb, don't get disturbed. Now don't get disturbed by your own habits. And those habits can be at the physical level. Those habits can be at the mental level. Those habits can be at the eating way, the way we eat, the way we walk, the way we sit, the way we whatever. So live a disciplined life where you have got no time to think about all this. Every moment of the day is accounted for. Keep yourself busy with awareness and keep yourself busy happily. Without expecting anything. Then why should I keep busy? To exhaust. Otherwise, one lecture is enough. You got the knowledge. Why you keep coming? Why you keep listening? You can easily go and watch the movies. You can watch some programs, watch the news. Why waste 1.5 hours in this? Every year, every Thursday. Same thing, twisted this way, that way. We are presenting the same thing again and again. At least in news, so much variety is coming. Then why don't you go there and why you come here? Think. So here he says, Likewise, in the case of a rajas dominated person, the faith is of the rajas quality, and in the case of the sattva dominated person, the faith is of the sattvic quality. In this way, the whole world is cast in the world of mold of faith. But take note of the fact that this faith has different marks as it is under the domination of one of the three gunas. Every faith, if I have faith in my ability, if I have faith that I am a good athlete, if I have faith in that I am a good athlete, where is your attention? On the body. If you have faith that I never forget anything, there are many people who don't need a diary or a save phone numbers. They remember it. They remember the names, unlike me. So they have faith in their mind, no? In their memory, in their capacity to remember. It's subtle. But take note of the fact that this faith has different marks as it is under the domination of one of the three gunas. The fruit of a tree can be guessed from its flower, or the mind of a person is known from the way he talks, or the past actions of a person can be inferred from the pleasure and pain he experiences in the present life. So first part, what did he say? That the fruit of a tree can be guessed from its flower. Is it a auspicious tree? Is it a wonderful, oh, parijat, oh, this is wonderful flowers. They bloom only in the Brahma Muhurt. You know that? Parijat flowers bloom only in the Brahma Muhurt, early in the morning. Afterwards, no. So, what is the fragrance that is coming from the being? Is the fragrance of love? Is it the fragrance of vatsalya? Is it the fragrance of jealousy? Is it the fragrance of envy? Is it the fragrance of arrogance? You can see a person and come to know, no? Arrogant fellow, he's feeling jealous, or you can easily you can come to know. If you have got a little bit of purity, people can come to know in general. So the mind of a person is known from the way he talks, or the way he talks. So that is one way Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying. Now you see, throughout Amrit Anubhav, throughout the Bhavartha Deepika that we are reading, he is so lovingly, that's why his name is Mauli. His love is so compassionate, so accommodating, so down to earth. He never forgets his teacher, by whose grace these words are coming out of him. And he never forgets to respect the thousands of people who are sitting and listening to him, who are all elder to him. He is only 12, 13 years old when he is giving this. So he is ever respectful towards them. So how are we? What is our disposition? Are we barking at people? Are we controlling people? Are we always talking very loudly? Are we gentle with our speech? Are we compassionate in our delivery of the speech? Do we empathize? Are we coming from integrity and righteousness? Are we forgiving? These are, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, these are the signs by which we can come to know whether the driving force, the mind of a person is sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. And the second party says, or the past actions of a person can be inferred from the pleasure and pain he experiences in the present life. That is the prarabdha. Past actions, the actions that he has done. Now, based upon those actions, this life is presented. So if you have got, we are not short of money, we are not short of food, we are not short of friends, we are not short of anything that we want. We are at a flick of a finger, it is available. You must have done enough punyas. You had collected you had done good actions in your past life. That's why everything is, it's like a swarga right now, it's like a heaven right now. Don't waste it. Make it a platform to do more good. Not become arrogant because everything is available. I keep saying our attention must not go on what we have done. That's why our life is good because I did good merit in my past life. No, that is okay to understand but it increases our ego. That means in my past life I was a good man, and that becomes an issue of arrogance, that I am sattvic, that I did good deeds, people should respect me. Like there was one person, husband and wife, they got retired, and one day they forced one Mahatma. They went to Vrindavan and they forced one Mahatma to give them sannyas. तो हम आश्रम छोड़ के ही नहीं जाएंगे. After giving up the taking sannyas, sannyas means what? What does sannyas mean? Samyak nyas, where you are equanimous with respect to the world. Now you are not living a desire-oriented life. Sannyas is where you have a udasin, an indifferent attitude towards the world, and all your faculties, thoughts are towards the Brahman, towards the reality. So this couple came back to Bombay. Now they are wearing, husband and wife, a sannyasi, and living together in the same house. Big lot of money. And now they started taking classes for themselves. Oh, we will teach Bhagavad Gita, we will teach this. And everywhere, because no purity of mind. Just because you have worn a sannyasi cloth doesn't mean that you have become sannyasi. Cloth doesn't make you a sannyasi, it is your attitude towards life, towards yourself. And the sannyas bhav cannot come if the mind is in tamas or rajas. It only when it comes to towards the climax of sattva, then sannyas comes. The feeling of indifference towards everything, unaffected by the world, that comes about. And initially it was a big big party. Our big Mr. and Mrs. Gupta, they have come and taken sannyas and come back, and big party, and then they started this class, that class, this class. And slowly, within 2-3 months, all classes fizzled out. Why? Because everywhere I am a sannyasi. I am a sannyasi. Therefore, what I am telling you must do. I will initiate people. If I say you don't understand, you don't understand. If I say you understand, you understand. You have understood. And very quickly people said, "Hey, ढोंगी." सब अपने अपने रास्ते निकल गए. They went into depression. Again they went back to the Mahatma. देखो. So it is not, this is what we are saying, or the past actions of a person. So they were rich, they had everything, they got sannyas because of the Guru came into their life, all because of past actions. I prefer to say by divine grace. But yes, to understand at an empirical level, past actions. Huh? Can be inferred from the pleasure and pain he experiences in the present life. So, are we a complaint box in spite of having everything that nature has to give you? Or are you a happy soul in spite of having nothing? Which one? Life will throw something at you all the time. Choice is ours to be happy or to be miserable, or to remain equanimous. Three things are there: sukha, dukha, or samatva. Sukhe dukhe samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo. So are we equanimous, or are we carried away into excitement when things are conducive, sukha, or we are extremely miserable when things are not conducive, dukkha? Or are we equanimous in spite of whatever life throws at us? In the Ramana Maharishi, Ram Sukdas ji, Ramakrishna Paramhams, all of them had cancer, but you never saw them complaining about cancer. Ram Sukdas ji, the cancer of the throat, till the last, he gave up, he left his body on the stage delivering a lecture. You never heard Ramana Maharishi anywhere, if you read his books, or those people who have written about him, that he or Satya Sai Baba ever complain about their shortcomings in health. Never. No time for it. It's happening in the matter. Let it go on. How does it matter? Our attention is always on the divine. Because if I give that Sai Baba who can heal so many millions of people by touch, by vibhuti, by look, couldn't he heal himself? What are we all doing? We are only looking after our health, forgetting about everyone else. See? Except the doctors. Huh? So Mahatmas are there only for others. They don't consider their body to be I. That is the thing. They have identified with the totality. Anyway, that's another topic. Maybe it will come somewhere in next chapter, or it comes in the end of the second chapter also, the Sthita Prajna Lakshana. In the same way, the three kinds of faith are known by their different signs. Hear about them now. So what are the symptoms? What are the signs by which we can recognize the presence of sattva or rajas or tamas? We can come to know the cause by the effect. We know that this child is there. So we have never seen the parents of this child, but we know there must be a parent, isn't it? If we see smoke, we infer that there must be a fire there. We can't see the fire, we can only see the smoke, but we know there must be a fire. Similarly, when we say Maya, how do we know Maya? Through the effect called Sattva Rajas Tamas. Now, how do we know Sattva Rajas Tamas? By their symptoms, by their signs. We know this is Sattva. By the signs, we know this is Rajas. Now, in the fourth verse, it goes on. Yajante satvika devan, yajante satvika devan, यक्षरक्षांसि राजसाः यक्षरक्षांसि राजसाः प्रेतान् भूतगणांश्चान्ये प्रेतान् भूतगणांश्चान्ये यजन्ते तामसा जनाः यजन्ते तामसा जनाः यजन्ते सात्विका देवान् यक्षरक्षांसि राजसाः प्रेतान् भूतगणांश्चान्ये यजन्ते तामसा janaha. He says sattva type of men worship gods, the rajas type worship gnomes and demons, and tamas type worship ghosts and hosts of spirit. So these are the signs. Now what do you pray to? Where is your mind stuck? Is your mind stuck in Shiva, Narayana, Devi, etc.? Or is your mind caught up in Kuber and such demigods who can be pleased very quickly? Or is your mind caught up in imaginations from dreams? Imagination, I think in the corner of the room, I think I saw someone crossing the window the other day. People say these things happen. It's all figmented, our own projection of the mind. If the mind is tamasic, it will see these type of caricatures. If it is rajasic, it will automatically be attracted towards the demigods. If it is sattvic, it is automatically attracted towards the Ishvara. क्या टाइम हो गया? 8:50. चलो 5 और कर लेते हैं. तरी सात्विक श्रद्धा जयांचा होय बांधा तया बहुत करूनी मेधा स्वर्गी आथी ते विद्या जात पडती यज्ञ क्रिये निवडती किं बहुना पडती देवलोकी आणि श्रद्धा राजसा घडले जे वीरेशा ते भजती राक्षसा खेचराहना श्रद्धा जे का तामसी ते मी सांगेन तुझपाशी जे का केवळ पापराशी आतिकर्कशी निर्दयत्वे जीववधे साधूनि बळी भूतप्रेत कुळे मैळी स्मशानी संध्याकाळी पूजिती जे. He says, the mind of those whose body is molded in the sattvic faith is usually inclined towards heaven. They study all lores, perform select sacrifices and go to heaven. So, in other words, they live a disciplined life. They live a life of purity. They invoke, they do their Agnihotra, they do their pujas, they do their japa. They think of the higher. What is higher? Higher than the earth. When you are living on the earth, if you are desiring objects and beings on the earth, then it is not sattvic. Then it is rajasic or tamasic. But if you are interested, your mind is interested, is seeking something higher. Bhu, bhuva, swa, tapa, jana, maha, satyam, parabrahma, paramatma, Ishwar. Doesn't matter. Higher. The heavens. And heaven is a very open word. How? Brahma, the Satya Lok also is heaven. Vaikuntha is also heaven. And our Indra, where Indra lives, that is also heaven. So which heaven? Then what are the Rajasic type? O great warrior, those whose body is molded in the Rajas faith worship the gnomes and demons who roam in the sky. You have heard of the Ghatotkach, Bhima's son? All these fellows. When you see our Indrajit, Ravana's son, even Ravana, whom did they pray to? They did not pray to gods. They were when Kamsa sends all these Rakshasas to kill the baby Krishna throughout his time in Vrindavan. Who are these Rakshasas? These are these fellows. Huh? They are all demons who roam in the sky. So Trunavarta, Dhenukasur, and then Pralambasur, Putana came through the sky, changed her forms. Now I shall tell you about persons whose bodies are molded in the tamas. They are corrupt souls. So who are these tamas? They are corrupt. They are the sadists. Sadists. They can't see other people happy. They are corrupt souls, very harsh and cruel. They kill beings and worship with their flesh and blood ghosts, spirits, etc. in the cemeteries. So, again, these are the three types of sadhanas. We know people, those who are aghoris, they live in the Shmashan Ghat, they live in all those tamasic sadhanas they do. Then there are tantrics who invoke the ghosts and spirits, control them and make them do things, make them solve the problems of other people. So many tantrics are there. You want, I'll give you names, go and visit them. It's a scene. Myself and Nagi went. For 3 hours we were sitting there, watching this tantric in Trichur, on the way to Guruvayur. Oh, huge people, all people, bhoot nikal rahe unme se. And we are sitting by the wall and watching the whole drama going on. And then in the end, जब ड्रामा काफ़ी देख लिया, बोर हो गए उसके बाद में. So we went, what do you want? No, we don't want anything. We just came for your Ashirwad. Okay. You don't want anything. Hey, everyone. There were about 200 people there. Hey, look, listen, everyone. These two people wanted nothing. And you bloody people only come for something from me. Take this out, give my daughter this, my प्रसाद देके हम चले गए, लेके चले गए. But you have to experience. डरना नहीं है उधर जाके. या किसी के साथ जाओ जो डरता नहीं है. And then the sattvic type, those who are doing the pujas, japas and havan and invoking the gods. And in this manner we'll leave it here. We'll continue from the 81st OV of the 4th verse in our next class. So we are looking at the signs and the symptoms by which we can categorize the sattva, rajas and tamas tendencies in a person. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for half a minute. Hari Om.
हरिओम स्वामी जी।